All right, so this is in regard to the hyperorganic strategy. You want to know exactly where your ideal client is hiding and also how to reverse engineer viral content creation. So there are a couple of things that you need to know. First off, there are different stages of awareness that the buyers that you're interacting or engaging with are going to go through. So there is a direct correlation or link between the lead quality and also how likely they are to convert to booking a call or be open-minded and receptive to you making an offer if you're selling by chat. The thing that is going to make all the difference is that stage of awareness that they currently are in and how educated they are on do they know that they have a problem, and also how likely or what's the propensity right now for them to get that problem solved if they can understand the solution that's going to solve that problem. So there's three main types of groups that we want to aim to utilize, where we are going to post and also leverage to build our audience as rapidly as possible. So tier 3, this would be the type of group that they are niche or associated with that type of field. So if it's relationship, then they're in the relationship field. If it's health, it's related to wellness or physical well-being, nutrition, and so forth. If, let's say, the group has to do with software, same thing. It still needs to be associated with that industry or that niche. And then another thing that is a possibility would be groups that have to do with adjacent themes. So this is no different than talking about affinity. So let's say, for example, if you're in maybe doing business coaching or like agency coaching of some kind, an adjacent theme would be talking about SaaS or go high level, something like that. Now, tier 2, this would be the type of group that is definitely free, most likely, and it's led by, or the main figurehead is a thought leader in that niche or that industry. They talk about pillar themes or pillar content that kind of overlap to what your program or offer solves. And also there's some sort of community element where it's not just the figurehead or the thought leader who is usually posting or talking, but other people besides the admin or the moderator who are usually posting about the problem or also the solution. And then tier 1, these are people who are most self-actualized, most likely to, quickly invest into themselves. They see the benefit. They require very little education because they're already sophisticated and already looped in. They already are aware that they have this problem and they've paid to solve that problem before, or they're actively looking to solve that problem right now. And so this could be a group that is definitely a paid community, but it has one main thought leader or at least a few main thought leaders, likely has a connection to a course or a community that other people pay to be a part of, and they also align with what your program solves or what you stand for. Now, the frequency of posting, if the group is free and it's private, then you want to aim for roughly about every 2 to 4 weeks. Some groups you might end up just having to aim directly for the once every 4 weeks to 30 days time frame. If it's a group that's private and it's paid, then you're going to end up spacing out how frequently you're going to try and post in there, so roughly about every 6 to 8 weeks. And if the group is open, meaning that there's no questions when you come into the group, it's completely public, then you're going to aim to post about once every 1 to 2 weeks in that group, and then you can just kind of change it up or do some variation. There are some things for you to be mindful of, okay? So success is going to leave clues. What that means is you don't want to necessarily have to reinvent the wheel. We're going to read the room. So if there's a specific type of piece of content that performs really well, you want to, instead of just copy pasting or emulating the content right off the bat, you want to focus on why did that piece of content actually go viral? Is there a specific recurring theme that you're noticing amongst the top 3 or top 10 pieces of content that ended up getting 50 plus engagements, comments, likes, and so forth? Now, viral can mean different things. It might mean higher than average number of likes, comments, or shares, or it might simply mean instead that, it got thousands and thousands of comments, but maybe not that many likes. So every group is different. I'm showing you here in this image after me having done some research in late March. I ended up using the Success Club. They have over a couple 100,000 people in that group, and I found 2 things. The text with colored background type of post that was very specific and milestone related and gave thanks is like a celebration post. Usually would tend to perform best, and it was often this magenta color or like a sky blue color, and so that's what I'm just referencing here. Obviously, you're going to end up testing for yourself, and you're going to be in various groups in these different tiers. There's no right or wrong answer. You just have to be open-minded and willing to test. Now, in some cases, viral or micro-viral or mega-viral, it can mean different things. So just don't get stuck on that. You're just going to continue testing. You want to aim to use an image or the post style that matches what's already performing well. And then the thing that leaves you space to be creative is what you say, putting your own spin on it, your own angle, okay, and telling your story or sharing your own milestone or celebration. So as long as you understand the meaning behind the post, and you never ever want to copy somebody else's content, and you're aiming to be consistent, where you're following up with any leads or people who engage with your content within 24 to 48 hours, then you're going to be setting yourself up for success. Now, what we're looking for when we're doing audience building is we're sending friend requests for the purpose of generating new eyeballs and relationships for content stories and messenger conversations. Our KPIs are crafted based on where you are during the business planning session, and also like ultimately what size audience you have right now as an asset you can leverage. Now, something to be aware of is that if you are creating a brand new Facebook profile, meaning the age of the profile is less than 12 months, it's going to require a ramp up period, and this can be anywhere from 2 to 6 weeks, sometimes even longer. So that might impact how many eyeballs or how much exposure and reach that profile is going to have, okay? So I'm just preparing you mentally for that not to get discouraged, just preparing you mentally for the fact that there might be a little bit of an extension or a change in the duration of time that it might take you in order to get the exposure and the capacity of traffic that you're looking for. Now, if you have a Facebook group already, then what you should be doing is sending roughly about 30 to 40 invites daily to grow your group. Obviously, if you're starting with a brand new profile, that's not really going to be beneficial to you. So you just kind of have to weigh your options. If you're not sure, you obviously ask me or the team. You want to get your group to about 500 members organically before you aim to run ads to group. Another caveat here is, or have at least 3+ clients, okay? So either one of those demarkers is fine. And if you do not have a group or at least one client or more, generating feedback loops and so we mentioned this in the Convos to Cash module, generating feedback loops to create value-driven content, to link back to your value-driven content on your profile, like let's say Facebook Live or a piece of content that's value-driven, that's just like text, using outbound DMs can work just fine with permalinks, and as long as you're communicating to your avatar what's in it for them. So this stands for what's in it for me, keeping in mind everybody's gonna like prioritize self-interest and self-preservation. So that's the reason for that, so that they give you their attention and you can expand influence. Now, follow-ups are always going to be a must with people who are actively watching your stories, engaging with your polls, your CTAs. They comment on your content, whether that's on your feed or in your group. And then you might be asking yourself, okay, well, what if this goes flat, etc. We mentioned this elsewhere in the curriculum, but please don't let vanity metrics get to you. Don't get discouraged. You're just going to keep going, whether it falls flat or it doesn't. You're just going to keep going and keep testing and reiterating, because you have to be congruent and just keep showing up as you.